It's the late night web show. The late night web show.
No, I don't like it.
Late night web show.
Yeah, we got it.
Solo. And now, here's your host, Jared McMullen.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. I was testing all of you. I was testing everybody, and you all passed, so thank you. Jesus. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of the Late Night Web Show. I promise I haven't been drinking. My goal is to look like a caveman by the end of this month, so I'm not going to get a haircut or shave until the end of September. Whew. So last week, we had a ton of fun with Tony Jackson. He was our guest through Skype. If you missed the show, the dude from the Windows commercial that everybody's been seeing all over the place with the rapping teacher, we had him on. He schooled me a little bit. He taught me a lot of rhymes and very politely told me that he was going to run me over with this car. Actually, I think it was my car. He was going to run me over with a car, and he said it with such grace that I like him. So thank you to Tony Jackson. And this week, why did it just randomly cut to my next slide? Phone. Everything's all automated, so if something goes wrong up here, it's mostly my phone's fault. So we have as a very special guest tonight, his name is Hypno Jimbo, and he's a comedic hypnotist, and he's going to be on later tonight. I didn't expect him to watch the show, so he told me that he heard what I said about me not believing in any of this stuff, so he says he has an action-packed little set planned, and we're going to see. I honestly have no idea if he's even going to do anything. I don't think he's just going to yell at me and leave. So we'll see. Why is it going backwards? I don't understand. Oh my God. Oh boy, I just might have to use my my hands, my good old hands. Oh, now it's working. Now it's working. All right, so just a heads up, because last week we were talking about the hurricane in Texas, and now there are reports that there's going to be a Hurricane Irma, which is now like a category 4 to 5-ish. It's either going to be going away in the ocean, like just turn around and going home. It's either going to kind of hit Florida, then go through probably Texas again, or it's going to hit Florida, turn, and like destroy all of Myrtle Beach. So if that's the case, and it makes landfall Monday, there's probably not going to be a show next week. I would like to tell everybody to come here in the hurricane, and we watch it flood, and we do a nice little show, and we bring swimmies, but it's just, that's not going to happen. So I might, if we do have to cancel the show, I might go live from my apartment if we still have power, or you just won't see me for a few days. But we'll pay attention. But if you see a hurricane heading towards Myrtle Beach, then you just know there may not be a show. So yeah, that's that. Also in news, I'm coming over a cold. Excuse me, but yeah, I was avoiding a cold. And for those who enjoy music, 2 people put out songs who I think are just like at the top of, not just the charts, but the top of what it means to be a role model. The first one is the Catch Me Outside girl. She put out a song. I cannot for the life of me remember her stage name. I just didn't even want to write it down. She's 14, but she put out a song called These Hoes. And it's very strange. The only cool thing about it, though, was whoever shot it, they wanted to make it seem like it was like Birdman, where it was all shot in one take. Other than that, it was complete garbage. And while we're on the topic of complete garbage, Taylor Swift put out a new song called Are You Ready For It, or Get Ready For It, or Ready Something For It, whatever. If you've listened to Wretches and Kings by Linkin Park, it was off that album that everybody hated and now everybody loves. If you look up that song, it sounds just like that song. So I thought it was very confusing and strange. So yeah, I literally did not write down her stage name at all. And another fun announcement, there is going to be a confetti cannon this week. It's right over there. It is locked. It is loaded. If this post on Facebook with the live stream gets 100 shares, it's going to fire. So I would hope that it doesn't do it during a commercial or something when I'm walking by it. But if you're watching on Facebook or if you're on Twitter or something, go to Facebook, share it, and if it gets to over 100, that thing will fire. And it's going to be fun. People are probably wondering where the second one is. I didn't set it up yet because that's terrifying enough. And that's still at half power. So hopefully it stays like that. The AC kicked on this morning and confetti was still falling from like 2 weeks ago. I don't even know how that's happening. So if you want to fire it, you can share it on Facebook, share the post on Facebook. And then if you don't want to fire it, if you want me to just kind of chill for the whole night and just not have any excitement or die, then don't share it. We can check right now. Also, last week, if you missed it, we did a nice little caption contest. We announced some winners. Okay, cool. Okay, so they're probably going to fire it tonight, so that's great and wonderful. So like I said, we have a nice, crazy show tonight. I'm going to get some water, because I don't have any water, and we're going to take a nice little break, and we're going to come back with some dumb news, and then we're going to introduce our special guest, so we will be right back.
When kids are coming into my classroom, they know that Mr. Jackson is the rapping teacher. We call it the remainder. That's the number that remains. Technology is a huge piece of education. Using the pen for the first time on the Windows 10 PC is great. I'm able to highlight different rhyme schemes. I can actually see my lines when I'm shading in. I can change the weight, drawing directly on my screen. I couldn't do this on my Mac. I can definitely see the future happening. I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit.
Hi, it doesn't matter who I am. Jared's not going to scream and yell at you to support the show, but I am. What is wrong with you? Are you stupid? Do you want me to literally kill you and everyone you've ever loved? Support the show on Patreon for just $10 a month. You get all these amazing perks and will help the continued development of this perfect show. You can also tell your friends about the show, which costs you nothing. Did you just say you don't have friends? Well, go find some. Go make a stupid friend and tell them about this show. Don't make me come over there. I know where you live.
Hopefully, we almost had it this week. That's all right. Hopefully my mic's on, and we will start with our dumb news segment. So if you missed the last few weeks, I find the stupidest news possible that's on the internet, and we go over it. I picked like the top 8 stories, and there should be a nice little ticker going on at the bottom of the screen with news stories that Fizz and Sprinkles picked out themselves. So the first story we have is a 41-year-old man dead after rushing into the Burning Man festival. Oops. This is so messed up. I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but a man rushed past layers of security officers into a massive fire into the Burning Man festival. I think it's from, what is it, that really bad Nicolas Cage movie? No, it's The Wicker Man, but same thing, I would assume. So he ran through it, he set himself on fire, and he died. And authorities are investigating the death of Aaron Joel, who's 41 years old, and he broke through a bunch of security, blah, blah, blah. And there were about 50,000 people there, and he was the only incident, which I guess that's good. Everybody else was fine. He was just somebody who set himself on fire. Thankfully, the officer said, we don't know if it was intentional on his part or if it was kind of induced by drugs. We're not sure yet. Personally, never really taken any drugs, but I don't think there is one out there that would just convince yourself to run into a bunch of flames and then die. But that's okay. So I would like to think it was an accident, but if he did, he went out with a bang, I guess. This is a fun one. Realtor disciplined for taking framed photo from home and then posting it online. A Nova Scotia-based real estate agent has been slapped with a 4-month license suspension after taking a framed photograph that belonged to the owners of the home that he listed. The Nova Scotia Real Estate Commission wanted to suspend Timothy, what a weird name, Timothy Harris, on Friday, saying that he is ordered to pay a $4,000 fee and then up to $26,000 in legal fines. And in the decision, the commission said Harris took pictures of the photograph and posted a copy of it to a Facebook page called Images of Nova Scotia. It was a private collection of his. This sounds so even weird. And the weirdest part about this whole story, when I first read it, I thought he took the photo and posted it online. But no, he literally took the photo home, then took a picture of it, then posted it online, and the owners found the picture online and then knew it was missing. So I'm not saying you should do it, but if you're ever in somebody's house and you want to take personal pictures of theirs, just take it with your phone and then leave the picture there. That way you don't get caught. So it's still dumb for everybody who's like, what? It's still dumb. This one is probably one of my favorites from the week. 20,000 bees swarm the bee whisperer for a pregnant bee belly shoot. Emily Muller, she's in Ohio, she loves bees, I would hope so. Not only because they're central to the business she operates with her husband Ryan, and then I skipped the rest. So she had pretty much she was pregnant, and she wanted to show life and death, so she covered herself in 20,000 bees, and her husband or somebody was taking pictures of it. And her reasoning behind it was that she just thought it was beautiful, and she really likes bees, so she fed the bees. They don't eat honey, but I guess whatever they eat, pollen or whatever. And so they were full, and she said that way their stingers couldn't be straight, so they wouldn't sting her. And then you're thinking, Jared, that's not how bees operate. They operate in like a gang. How did she get all of them on her? Well, that's easy. She says she kidnapped the queen into like a little cage and held onto it so all the bees swarmed her. And this is while she was pregnant. And you're probably wondering, Jared, that's really stupid, and I would say so. And she claims that it was very dangerous because if one stung her, they all would have stung her, and she would have gotten 20,000 bee stings. But thankfully, she was holding the queen. And then you're probably wondering, Jared, she was, of course, checking on the baby the entire time. She says no, she can't even remember if the baby was responsive or not during the photo shoot, which is just terrible. She said, I wasn't paying attention. It was a little nerve-wracking. It was my first experience with them being on my body and wearing a dress, which posed a lot of threats. I don't even want to know, but she's fine, the baby's fine. I don't really care about her, the baby's fine, I guess. So just don't do that. And I guess she's getting a lot of publicity for her little bee farm or whatever the hell she's doing. I like bees in terms of, if they all go away, we're all dead, but I don't like what she's doing. And she never said if she released the queen back into the ocean or whatever she does. Armed men accused of holding up Woodland Bar where cops were celebrating a colleague's retirement. So 2 armed men held up a Woodland Bar on Tuesday, where a group of Baltimore County police officers had gathered for the retirement party of the department, or somebody in the department, sorry. Really? Wow, so Wendy used to work there. We're gonna have to interview her again. So maybe she knows these people, or maybe they were celebrating a retirement. 2 people came in blaring guns at 5:30 p.m. And then some of the officers put down their drinks and they ran and captured the people. What an amazing story. So they gave chase, they apprehended the 2 men, and I guess they continued partying. We need to get Wendy her own mic back there. This is a fun one. It's in quotes. So a mermaid told man to drive his car straight into the sea. 36-year-old Lim Ping Jiang has been accused of endangering the personal safety of others after he drove his car into the sea at Ocean Drive off of Santa Costa Cove last Friday. I don't think anybody here has worked there. As for Lim, his car had sunk to the bottom with him trapped in it, and he was only rescued when when a yacht full of police officers happened to take him out. And he's facing a lot of fines, and he's claiming that he was driving and a mermaid was like, come play in the ocean, so he decided to do it. But it's just knowing that the mermaid didn't save him, so it's a shame. This is self-explanatory, and all of these are real. I have to do research, sadly, which is just more Googling and trying to find the original source of this. Woman calls police to complain about bad meth quality. A woman in Montana, I thought I was going to say Florida, Montana allegedly called the police to report that she had bought bad meth that caused a bad taste in her mouth. I've never tasted meth. Has anybody else here done meth? Does it taste good? No? I don't know if it but apparently it tasted bad. So she called the police and said, I do meth 3 times a day, and I've never had this kind of reaction before. So she mentioned that, along with her boyfriend, had purchased the drugs the night before, and that she injected herself at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 3 p.m. But if she injected herself, how did she have a taste in her mouth? I don't really know how any of this stuff works. But she was arrested on a felony narcotics possession charge, and the offense carries a prison sentence up to 5 years. And apparently when she was arrested, they said, do you have any more on you? And she said that she had some in her bra. So they just like kept upping the penalty for her, which is just crazy. So if you're going to call the police, well, if you're going to do anything stupid, we've learned to not drive your car into the ocean and say that a mermaid is trying to be with you, I guess. Don't cover yourself in bees. Why do we even have to say this? Do not rob a store that Wendy used to work at that also has a police retirement party going on. And then also don't call the police to complain about the bad meth that you got. I feel like I'm teaching all of you 1 week at a time. And if you have any questions, if you're wondering, Jared, should I do this? If you're going to end up on Dumb News, the answer is probably no. And if you have any dumb news articles, you can tweet at Late Night Web. Send your dumb news articles in. I know some of you have already been sending some in, but keep sending them in, and we will keep reading them. So now, that's it for dumb news, which is, last week, I talked a lot of crap since the show started, believe it or not. I've talked so much crap just between things that I don't believe in. I didn't believe in that Windows commercial. I didn't believe Tony could actually rap. He proved me wrong, sadly, in front of all of you. And then, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I talked a lot of crap about hypnotists because I love magic, I love magicians, I love ghosts, but hypnotism is just something I've always been like, I don't think that's real. So there is a man who claims he's going to prove not just me, but all of us wrong because all of you agreed with me. Actually, let me just take a count. How many of you think hypnotists are legit? Raise your hand. So you have 1, 2, 2. Okay, cool. How many of you, just in case things happen, are willing to come up here to like be a part of this? 1. Anybody? Okay. So 2 people believe, but only 1 wants to come up. Interesting. So do you really believe? So without further ado, I would like to bring out, he is one of the greatest hypnotists I have yet to see. Hypno Jimbo, everybody. Where is he? There he is.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Welcome on the show, man.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Take a seat.
Right.
Welcome. Jesus.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Late Night Web Show. How are you?
Oh, I'm awesome, man. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So I guess tell everybody a little bit, who you are, where you're from. Pretend we're on like Match.com.
Match.com.
Or trying to match you with a bunch of potential.
My wife said she was going to be watching this tonight,
Okay.
so I got to be careful.
Well,
so.
I meant in terms of entertainment. Like we're on
Still my wife is watching this, so I got to behave myself. My name Hypno Jimbo. My name is Jim Fox. I live in Sunset Beach. So
Okay.
I'm pretty local. Originally from Sanford, about the center of the state, a little between Raleigh and Fayetteville in that area. 56 years old. Got a daughter, a grandbaby. Son-in-law's a police officer. Yay for the police guys.
Yeah.
I have always been fascinated and intrigued by hypnosis.
Okay.
You can go on YouTube and there's just hundreds and if not thousands of different hypnotists and videos. Things about me and the way I do things, I'm a perfectionist. I like stuff when it goes right. I don't like stuff to go wrong. And I'm
Use this.
okay, I'll use this. And I'm big into production. So I see a lot of hypnotists that when they do their shows, they just go set up a couple chairs, a couple speakers, and a microphone, and that's their show.
Right.
I've got lights, cameras. I mean, we put on a show.
Wow.
It's the hypnosis show, but we put on a production show.
Gotcha.
And I think that's where it kind of sets me apart from other people. I was trained by Mark Savard.
Okay.
Mark Savard is a comedy headliner or a hypnotist. He's a headliner in Las Vegas. Just went past his 10th year. So a lot of other ones come and go, but he's been there the longest. Phenomenal guy. You can check out his stuff. His YouTube's Mark Savard, Savard. Watch some of his stuff. He's hilarious. He's the best in the business. I was fortunate enough to go through one of his classes, get trained. After that, then I was really hooked.
Okay.
Because a lot of stuff I did, I just kind of learned on my own.
So were you hypnotized ever up until that point, or you just wanted to
No,
learn?
I never had been hypnotized. You know, and almost kind of like you, I believed in it, but I didn't think I could be hypnotized.
Right.
But if you ever seen the video when I was on his show, I was hypnotized.
Okay.
Very much so. And then after that, I just really got into it. Then I went to, I got a certification in hypnosis, and then a stage 1 and stage 2 hypnosis certification to do
Where would you
stage
go to get that?
I did that at his school in
Okay.
Las Vegas.
Gotcha.
He offered a class. And then I went to California, and I took, first in Miami, then I got my NLP, which was a practitioner, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which is the language that we use to kind of reprogram the mind, if you will.
Okay.
And that's for people that have, maybe want to lose weight, stop smoking, kind of stuff. That's kind of the way you change. Because everything that we do in life, we've learned from the time we were born up until where we are now. So that's kind of a process that we use. And I also, then I went and got my master's in that. So I'm a master practitioner of NLP. Then I went and got my master's with MER, which is mental and emotional release. That's for those folks that are just a little bit deeper. And I got my master hypnotism with them also. So I'm board certified and all of that, and 50 cents to get me a cup of coffee at McDonald's.
Wow.
So, but no, I've done a lot of things in my life, man.
Okay.
From I've never been one to try. I've done everything from playing in a band to I was a professional wrestler for years.
That's awesome. What was your wrestling name?
I wrestled as Dick Foley. I wrestled as Mick Foley's cousin. Matter of fact, y'all think that's funny?
Yes.
I brought something.
Oh boy.
This I don't know which camera we want if we want to try to do. I don't know which one. The middle one.
Yeah.
This was me back probably in the early '80s, and I'll show it to you in just a second. When I was a front man playing keyboards with a band, Little Young Buck, right there. And then when I became a professional wrestler, this was my stuff there, just some of my different blood. And if you knew who Mick Foley was,
Yes.
I looked a lot like Mick Foley. So we did that for a while. And I don't know if any people remember, I don't think they're on the air anymore, Lizard Lick Towing was a big show on True TV. I did a couple episodes with them and was on TV doing that.
Wow.
So that's about it.
So,
Other than the hypnosis, and I was picking at you earlier about the video that or the last show you had done where you didn't really believe in hypnosis
Yeah,
and stuff
like,
like
no,
that.
no,
Well,
not
you know,
gonna do that.
and I understand, and the reason people don't is they don't understand it. They don't
Right.
know what it is. They don't know what it's about, or any of that stuff. They see what they see on TV and what they see in the movies. You'll come to me, I'm your master, and it don't work that way.
okay. How similar is it to like meditation? Because I do that
A
every
lot.
day. Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
Meditation is just focusing, relaxing, drowning things out, if you will. To go into a hypnotic state, to be hypnotized, it's basically the same process.
Okay.
I don't hypnotize anybody. A lot of people think, oh, you're going to hypnotize. I don't hypnotize anybody. No hypnotist hypnotizes anybody.
Okay.
You hypnotize yourself. We just teach you and tell you how to do it.
Okay. So if after you hypnotize somebody, could they hypnotize themselves like anytime?
Certainly,
Or?
yes. They can. Well, we have a lot of hypnosis, and I have it available also. We have self-hypnosis tracks. So like maybe before you go to bed, you can pop one in, put your headphones on, listen to it, and you'll actually go through a hypnosis session with that. Almost 2 years ago, I was almost 300 pounds.
Really?
Really. And last Thanksgiving, I was about 280, and I'm now about 225.
Wow.
Hypnosis did not cause me to lose weight. I lost weight because of diet and exercise, but hypnosis helped me stay on the diet and exercise. And one more picture, this was me in those 3 instances that I was telling you about.
Wow.
You can see me in the middle. I was a porker. And then here, and then now. This was in Vegas not too long ago.
Got some sunburn going
So,
on there.
yeah, so hypnosis can help people with weight loss, anxieties, fears, phobias, all kinds of things.
when
Several people I've helped with that.
It's just from what I've seen, like movies, TVs, all that fun stuff that you said wasn't accurate. When you hypnotize somebody, you usually tell them to do something or go to sleep or wake up or something. Are they prone to that forever? Like if somebody just walk up to them and be like,
No, a lot. That's some of the myths of hypnosis. People think that you can get stuck in it. You can't. Hypnosis is not sleep. People think it's sleep because that's what it resembles. It looks like you're asleep, but you're not. Actually, hypnosis is a very high awareness. You're more aware in hypnosis than we are at this moment. Hypnosis, whether people know it, everybody goes through hypnosis at least twice a day, if not more, but at least twice.
Okay.
Because hypnosis is part of the awakened state and part of the sleep state. But you have to pass through hypnosis to go to sleep, and you have to pass through hypnosis to wake up. So that's two. So, and I'm sure you've drove down the road and just be cruising right along and just be listening to the music or just mind wherever.
Yeah.
And you ain't paying attention about driving. No. Your unconscious mind is driving your car. So we call that road hypnosis. Read a book, so enthralled in the book, you don't hear anything else around you. It's a form of hypnosis. So we're in and out of hypnosis every day. We just don't realize it because people don't know what it is.
Okay. So now, what's like the weirdest situation that has happened in terms of hypnosis? Did you have somebody who was like really angry at you, and were you able to like?
No, matter of fact, it happened this weekend.
Oh boy.
I had a show Saturday night and a show Sunday. Before I get to that, there's three ways that you basically do hypnosis. You hypnotherapy, a clinical type hypnosis, stage hypnosis, which is my favorite, and then I do street hypnosis, which is when I put someone in a hypnotic state in 45 seconds or something like that. Those are fun to do. Those are just kind of one-on-one things. So whoever raised their hands out there wanted to, we'll play. And I want to know how many want to see me hypnotize Jared, because Jared don't really believe in that. So. We'll see if you're game here in a little bit. So what was the question again?
You were talking about this weekend, and I asked if somebody was ever like angry.
Yeah, when we do hypnosis shows, we ask for a lot of volunteers. I don't pick people because a lot of people think, oh, you're set up, it's staged. So we ask for volunteers to come up. Mm-hmm. And I usually start with anywhere from 20 to 30 people, depending how big the venue is. And what ends up happening is I have 10 to 15 minutes to get people hypnotized, right. So I can do a show. And I'm trying to keep 8, 9, or 10. Those that go in the quickest and go in the deepest are the ones I'm looking for. There's things that we look for, there's signs, and those are the people that we keep to do our show. We had a young lady that was sitting on the end of our row, and I'm talking about she was out. And I had them all stand up because we were getting ready to do a bit, and then she's all of a sudden started crying. And I was about halfway down the little row, and I run back up to her, and I, kind of off mic, are you okay? You okay? Yeah. And she just hugged me, and she just went to crying. And so I immediately brought her back to an awakened state and pretty much told her, go sit down. Because what happens is, and I say this like this is because when you see hypnosis shows and comedy shows, they're funny because it is a comedy show. But you're still, if you will, in people's heads. Mm-hmm. So you're still messing with their minds, if you will. Yeah. It's not bad, but that's just the way I'm trying to explain it. Okay. So I don't know if while she was going into trance, something was recalled, mm-hmm. and she was having a moment. I didn't know what was going on at all. So boom. I got rid of that situation. We call those ab reactions. That could happen. Age regression is very popular in hypnosis. People want to go back and try to remember something, or they've seen something and they need to remember. So through hypnosis, you can go back and it's just like you're there again. It's amazing. So amazing. So a lot of people who do age regression go back to a earlier childhood, and you have to watch how you say things, and that's part of the NLP practice, the linguistic programming, is because if I tell someone to go back to 5 years old, I don't know what happened to them when they were 5. Mm-hmm. They could have been abused or something like that, and then boom, that comes up, and then we got a problem. Yeah. I can fix it and take care of it, but when I got 25 people on stage, it's the show's over. Yeah. So, but if I was to say something to the fact, and I go back to as if you were 5 years old. Now, I'm asking them pretty much to pretend to be 5. Right. Not to be 5 again. Right. So how you say a lot of things is how it works in their minds. So people all the time ask me, well, can I learn how to do that? Sure, anybody can learn how to hypnotize. It's really not hard. It's really not. Okay. The hard part is knowing what to do once you get them hypnotized. That's the hard part. Because like I said, you're in somebody's mind, and
could be a dangerous place.
Okay. Now, has there been anybody who you've just not been able to hypnotize no matter
Yeah,
what?
my wife. I can't do nothing with her. Nothing. 37 years, and I try. She ain't falling for it.
I guess that's good.
I guess you don't want to be my guinea pig, but
Right.
she does stuff. She works in my show. She runs my sound. She sees it. She knows it's real. You know, it's just.
She doesn't want anything to do with it.
They say that there's a percentage. I don't know how they come up with the percentages. That there's maybe only 10% of the population that cannot be hypnotized, but everybody else can. Some people deeper than others. You know, so.
Okay. Well, I think it's time
I'm
to bring out
ready.
our tech room assistant, Wendy. She has volunteered on her. I'm not making her do this. There were no threats or something. She wants to be hypnotized. So we're going to see how legit this is. So Wendy, come on out. Everybody give Wendy a round of applause. I might have to give, I'll get, can we just run a chair? Oh, you want to do right here? Okay.
We'll need one in a minute, but right, we'll just sit for a minute. Because before we get up, I want to do something with everybody. So is this mic necessary, or is this one not working?
It might be necessary.
Okay, that's no problem.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
no problem.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Well, it's okay. I'm gonna stand in front. I want to do something with everybody real quick. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so everybody can move over here just so I can see you, because with all the cameras and stuff. And what I'm going to do, this is not hypnosis. This is something that we do at our shows, but it's kind of cool. So what I want, if you will, is everybody stand up.
Me too.
Yes, you too. Oh, definitely. You more than anybody.
Okay.
Then I want to put your hands straight out in front of you like so, about 6 inches apart. Okay, and in just a second, I want you to close your eyes. But before I do that, I want you to look. We're going to pretend that there's a magnet in your palm here, and there's a magnet in your palm here. So hands out. 6 inches, start rubbing them together real fast, real fast. Generate some heat. Close your eyes. Now put your hands back out 6 inches. And what you're going to feel is right now that those magnets in your hands start pulling together. Think, concentrate, and focus. Your hands, keeping your eyes closed, your hands will start moving together closer and closer and closer and closer and closer together. And when they do touch, just leave them in that position. Don't fight it. Don't think about it. Just let it happen. Okay. It will happen, and it's going to happen. And if those that haven't touched yet, the magnets are 10 times stronger, and what will happen, they'll come closer and closer and closer and closer until they touch. Now, everybody let your hands where they're at. Just leave them there. Open your eyes. Look where your hands are. Some people's hands moved. Some people's didn't. That's okay, about half. So by round of applause, not a lot of people, how many people's hands touched? Clap your hands. How many people's hands just moved? How many didn't do anything? We had a couple that did, and that's fine. The point is that kind of shows you're in the right frame of mind to do this. We'll do one more thing. Take your hands and put them together like you're praying. Squeeze pretty tight. Take these two fingers and stick them straight up. Have about an inch gap in between your fingers. Make sure the butts of your palms are together, squeezing tight. Focus in between your two fingers. Focus now. And then just so you're going to notice fingers will start moving together. Squeeze your hands tight, squeeze them tight, and you'll notice your fingers start moving together. Squeeze them tight, tighter, 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 tighter. If your fingers are not moving, you're fighting me. And that's just going to tell me you really don't believe in hypnotism, or you don't want to be a hypnotist or be hypnotized. So anyway, put your hands down. Just a couple little tests. You did good. Jared's still praying. So before I go ahead, so y'all can have a seat. Thank you, thank you. You can have a seat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Wendy up, and I'm going to do what I call a little bit of street hypnosis with Wendy. It's going to be kind of rapid induction. It's going to be kind of quick. It's not the long, drawn-out, put you to sleep type stuff. And it's just going to kind of show you what hypnosis is. And if everything goes well, then I'm going to do a couple little things with Wendy just to kind of show you what hypnosis is all about. Is that cool? You ready?
Yes.
You ready? Okay. If you would, stand right here. Now face me a little bit right here. No, turn. There you go. There you go. Put your feet together. And actually move over this way just a little bit. There you go. Is that good for the cameras? Is everything cool? Okay.
Let's just pause for like 30 seconds. Pause for the camera. Just want to fix something.